You know, in the shadows of our justice system, there are these operations so dark, they really blur the line between the hunter and the hunted. Today, we're gonna pull back the curtain on one of the most chilling undercover roles you can possibly imagine. Just think about that for a second. What if the hitman you hired was actually an FBI agent? I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? Well, for over 100 people who wanted someone dead, this wasn't a movie. It became a very, very real mistake. So how does law enforcement stop a murder before it even happens? Well, sometimes they have to send in a killer of their own.
The man at the very center of this whole story is FBI agent Scott Payne. But to the criminals he was targeting, he wasn't an agent at all. Nope, he was a cold, ruthless contract killer, ready for hire. His mission was this incredible contradiction. To save lives, he had to become a totally convincing monster, offering to take...
See, this kind of work, it wasn't about solving murders after the fact. It was all about preventing them from ever happening. And to do that, the FBI needed someone special. Someone who could walk into a room with a person plotting this horrible crime and not just act the part, but become the monster they were expecting to meet.
Okay, so how in the world do you build a believable hitman from scratch? It's not just about looking tough or talking a certain way. It's about creating a whole system, a trap so airtight and so convincing that a person who is truly willing to kill will walk right into it, and in the process, expose their intentions beyond any shadow of a doubt.
And this is the playbook, right here. It almost always starts with a tip, usually from an informant. Then comes the call, that's the agent, in character, talking directly with the target. After that, a down payment is collected. And that's not just about the money, it's tangible proof of intent. But the most critical part, the staged proof. This is often a faked photo of the supposed victim, made to look bloody and lifeless, to convince the target the job is done. And only then, when the target is fully committed and believes the murder is real, that's when the arrest goes down.
And that right there, that's the kind of bone-chilling evidence these stings produce. This isn't some he said, she said situation. It's the target's own voice, caught on tape, calmly ordering a person's death. There's just no ambiguity, no room to deny it. It's basically a confession delivered before the crime was ever committed.
So this brings us to a really fundamental question. Who are these people? I mean, who actually picks up a phone and decides to hire a contract killer? Well, the answers are often just as ordinary as they are completely horrifying.
They're not all these criminal masterminds you see in movies. A lot of the time, they're spouses, business partners, neighbors. They're just ordinary people who've become completely consumed by rage or greed or sheer desperation. For them, murder stopped being this monstrous act and became, in their minds, just a simple solution to a messy problem. The undercover agent just gave them the chance to act on that dark impulse they already had. Of course, an operation this deceptive, well, it brings up some pretty serious ethical questions. When you create a fake hitman, are you just catching criminals, or are you actually creating them? This is where that line between justice and entrapment starts to get really, really blurry.
The key word here, the one that everything hangs on, is intended. The whole legal defense of entrapment comes down to this. Did the idea to commit the crime start with law enforcement, or did it start with the defendant? Were they just an innocent person who got lured into a criminal plot they never would have thought of on their own?
And that is the crucial distinction. That's the line in the sand. The FBI's argument, and it's the one that has consistently held up in court, is that they are not planting the desire to kill. That desire is already there. The fake hitman is just an opportunity, a tool that lets a person who is already willing to commit murder take that final, irreversible step.
So yeah, the operations were a huge success in stopping violent crimes. But there's a cost here that you can't measure in convictions or years in prison. It's the human cost, the price paid by the agent who had to wear the mask of a killer day in and day out.
Just think about what that takes. To be that convincing, you have to truly live in that role. You have to sit across from someone and listen in cold, hard detail as they explain exactly why they want a business partner or even a family member dead. You have to nod, you have to agree, and you have to help them plan that murder. Living inside that kind of darkness, even just for a while, it's gotta leave a permanent mark.
But then you see this number. Over 100 violent plots stopped in their tracks. That means over 100 people are alive today who wouldn't be, all because an agent was willing to step into that darkness. It's a staggering number, and it really speaks to the success of these incredibly difficult and dangerous operations.
And that leaves us with the central question of this whole thing, doesn't it? It's the paradox at the very heart of this kind of preventative justice. So what is it? A necessary evil? A brilliant tactic? Or is it a step too far? The answer, I think, probably lies somewhere in that gray area, between all the lives that were saved
and the price that was paid to save them.